As usual, the political pundits, the so-called experts, don't know what they're talking about. They're deceiving the American people. The Republicans are playing a game. As I said yesterday, the Republican Party is functionally dead. It's over. There's nobody really to represent the American people in the political class. And what they fail to understand is that the Americans that moved on the Capitol a week ago Wednesday, it wasn't just because of election fraud. It was because the government, our so-called government, I wouldn't call it a government at all because it's not, has not represented the interests of the American people for many, many years, for decades. And it's gotten worse. And people see just how corrupt it is. And that's what I wrote about in my book, It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry. I go right through each of the three branches of government and prove to you in detail just how they have abandoned, how they have worked against, and how they have committed crimes against the American people. And I'm talking about not just the deep state in the executive branch of both political parties, which is more powerful than the president of the United States. I'm not just talking about the clowns, court jesters, and criminals on Capitol Hill, and you could see them yesterday. What a bunch of clowns. That could have been the Keystone Cops, Laurel and Hardy, whoever. I mean, these people are not serious people, but in addition to not being serious, they're just pure evil. And that applies to both Democrats and Republicans. There's not one up there that's worth anything in terms of defending the interests of the American people. It's all about them. It's all about power, prestige, stuffing money into their pockets from special interests, large law firms, bundling money to make contributions. We've got no government. It's corrupt. The image that's being sent forth to the world is that this country is in more than total disarray, is that it's on the verge of total collapse. And of course, you have the president, the current president for the next 6 days, Donald Trump. Donald Trump died with regard to an impeachment. His previous lawyers that represented him, Pam Bondi and Pat Cipollone, he's the White House counsel, they've abandoned him too. You see, everybody likes a winner, but no one's going to be there for someone who's perceived to be the loser. And this president has never had people around him who are loyal to him. They've been there for themselves. And that goes for Sekulow, Bondi, and Cipollone. And I can spend more than a few minutes on this podcast going through it. I'm available to represent the president in that impeachment trial, even though I've never been able to speak to him, undoubtedly because of Roger Stone, that slimy hack that has dragged the president down, who was there during his speech, grandstanding for himself, who I've had to sue at least 6 times for defaming Dr. Jerome Corsi and me, because he feared the Corsi was going to testify in a way that wouldn't help him in his trial. Someone who claims that that trial was just simply a witch hunt. Well, I sat there at that trial, and he obstructed justice. That was a just verdict, regardless of the biased judge. And I talk about that judge in my book. Yes, she's one of the worst, but Roger Stone is even worse than she is. So consequently, these are the people he hangs around, the people who are loyal to him, like me. I certainly do constructive criticism of him from time to time. He doesn't have anything to do with. And that's because of Roger Stone. But I'm available. But if he doesn't have me, he's going to have to look for somebody else. And at this point, I can't see anybody else that will really stand up for him of any stature, or frankly, who knows what they're doing. But here's my message for today, is that don't listen to the Sean Hannitys. I mean, all he does is repeat videos over and over again because he's not smart enough to come up with any new thoughts. Tucker Carlson is not a conservative. He's playing the game. I know that. And Laura Ingraham, well, she's smart. I'll give her that. But she doesn't really fully understand. She hasn't been in the game for a very long time. Yours truly has been in the trenches. And that's why I want you to get the book. It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry. Read the truth. It's the hard truth. And the hard truth is that we don't have a government. The hard truth is that we need to do citizens' grand juries. The next weeks we'll be seeking the indictment of Biden, his son, and the rest. Later, Comey, the Lovebirds, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, the Obamas, the Clintons, and of course, like I said, the Bidens. We need to rise up with our own legal justice system. And make no mistake about it, those people that moved on the Capitol, there were some Antifa people. Yeah, there were some out of control individuals from God knows where. We don't know. But the reality is that that was the natural result of the government no longer representing the people. And whatever you say about it, that was just the beginning. I don't want to see violence, but unless something's done quickly, there's going to be a bloody revolt, a very bloody revolt. And again, I don't want to see that. But Jefferson predicted that. He said it would happen. He said because of the federal judges who are unelected, not accountable to the people, we would have no other recourse. And it has come to pass. So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow patriots, read the Declaration of Independence. When in the course of human events, the government doesn't represent the people, under the laws of nature and nature's God, we have a right to alter or abolish that government and to form a new government by and for the people. That's what we must do. So go to freedomwatchusa.org, support our cause. We're going to have a third Continental Congress. We're going to organize it. We need a new government. We'll do it peacefully and legally. And if people come for us and they seek to hurt us, we'll use our Second Amendment rights, but we will not be offensive. We will not seek to hurt anybody, but we will defend ourselves. The American people must rise up. We really don't have a country as envisioned by our founding fathers anymore. We have a country of clowns, court jesters, and criminals. And that's what we saw yesterday on Capitol Hill. And I'm talking about the Republicans too, because you know what? They condemned the president for something he was not responsible for. They are responsible for it. They have stoked revolution by abandoning the American people, by using their greed and their power to form what is in effect a racketeering enterprise against the American people. And that's the hard reality, and that's the facts of life. So forget about Fox News. Forget about the Republican Party. We must do it for ourselves. We must rise up peacefully and legally. Read my book, It Takes a Revolution. Get it at Amazon.com or with a contribution of $50 or more on Freedom Watch's website at freedomwatchusa.org. But don't be fooled by the crap that you see on Fox News, the cable media, and in the media. It's time for you to sober up and get to work, because we are at the end. In just a few more months, we will no longer have a country under the rule of Joseph Biden and the rest of the radical left, which is committed to enslave us in socialism and communism. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. Until then, pray to God and His Son, and thank you for listening to me.